Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's crazy? Every single day, people talk about what they want. They want the car, they want the money, they want the recognition, they want the lifestyle. But let me tell you something real, brutally real. Wanting is cheap. Everybody wants. What separates the ones who actually make it happen from the ones still sitting around complaining is what they're actually doing about it. You reap what you sow. It's so simple, but most people just don't want to hear it. They want magic, they want the shortcut, they want it faster, easier, without sacrifice. Guess what? Life doesn't care about your excuses. Life doesn't care about your reasons. Life cares about one thing. What seeds are you planting every single day? If you're planting seeds of procrastination, seeds of laziness, seeds of entitlement, don't cry when the harvest is disappointment. Don't cry when the harvest is bitterness. Don't be shocked when you wake up 10 years from now and you're pissed off at the world, pissed off at your boss, pissed off at your friends, and most of all, pissed off at yourself. You reap what you sow. It's physics, it's math, it's nature. If you put in consistent effort, if you hustle, if you build real skills, if you focus on bringing value to other people, guess what? Your harvest is going to be abundance. Your harvest is going to be opportunities you can't even imagine yet. But here's the part that people don't want to hear. It takes time. It takes getting punched in the mouth by life and standing back up. It takes planting those seeds, watering them, caring for them for months, maybe years before you see a single sprout. And you know what? Most people quit before they see anything happen. Most people plant one seed, stare at the dirt for 2 weeks, see nothing, and then walk away. They scream, "This doesn't work. This is stupid. I'm unlucky." No, you're not unlucky. You're impatient. Everybody is looking at the guy who's crushing it and saying, "Oh, he's so lucky." No, he's not lucky. You just didn't see the decade where he was broke. You didn't see the nights he stayed up at 2 a.m. working on his dream after his 9 to 5 shift. You didn't see the 100 rejections he got. You didn't see the years where nobody gave a sh*t about what he was doing. You only saw the after, and that's where people lose. You want big results. You want the life you dream about. Then you better start sowing some serious seeds right now. You better start investing in your craft when no one is watching. You better start eating dirt and liking it, because that's the price. That's the currency. And the people who win are the ones who fall in love with the process, not just the trophies. There are no hacks. There are no viral shortcuts. Yes, someone wins the lottery once in a while, but if your plan is to win the lottery, you're already finished. Your plan better be to show up every day. Your plan better be to outlast everyone who talks a bigger game than you. You know how many people talk. Talk is cheap. Execution is everything. The world is filled with people who talk a great game and don't do sh*t. Every day they're about to start the business. About to launch the podcast, about to go to the gym, about to fix their relationship. Guess what? About to isn't a real thing, it's a fantasy. There are 2 types of people in this world, sowers and wishers. Wishers sit around waiting for conditions to be perfect. I'll start when I have more time. I'll start when I have more money. I'll start when I feel more motivated. Good luck. You're going to be waiting a long time. Sowers, they start with nothing. They start with broken tools. They start scared. They start underfunded. They start underprepared, and they figure it out while moving. They plant seeds even when the weather sucks. They plant seeds even when the soil looks bad. They trust the process, and guess what happens? Over time, not overnight. Over time, they get better. They learn. They adapt. They find new soil. They find better ways. Their harvest starts to multiply, momentum kicks in, and everyone looking from the outside says, "Wow, they're so lucky." And no, they're not lucky, they earned it. Life is always watching. Life is always taking notes. You can lie to other people all day. You can post motivational quotes and fake success on Instagram, but you cannot lie to life. Life sees what you are really doing when no one's clapping for you. Life knows exactly how many seeds you're actually planting, how many hours you're actually grinding when nobody's looking. You reap what you sow. If you're not where you want to be right now, it's not because the world is against you. It's not because of your parents. It's not because of your boss. It's because you haven't sown enough, you haven't built enough skill, you haven't provided enough value yet, and that yet is powerful if you get honest with yourself. The good news, you can change it today, right now. You can start planting the seeds that matter. Every email you send, every meeting you take seriously, every workout you grind through when you don't feel like it, every moment you choose to learn instead of waste time on Netflix, every tiny action compounds. It stacks. It's brick by brick. And most people underestimate what they can build in a year because they're obsessed with what they can get in a week. Think about farmers for a second. A real farmer doesn't plant seeds in the morning and then come back that night with a harvest truck. That's not how it works. They prepare the land, they plant carefully. They water every day, they protect their crops from storms, and they wait patiently, trusting nature, trusting the invisible work happening underground. Same with your dreams, same with your brand, same with your career, your relationships, your health, everything. Everything worth having is built in the unseen places long before it shows up in the visible world. Are you willing to do the invisible work? Because if you're not, if you only want the applause and not the sweat, you're gonna lose. If you only show up when it's easy, when it feels good, when it's Instagrammable, you're gonna lose. You want the real flex in 2025. It's not the car, it's not the six-pack, it's not the number of followers. The real flex is, are you proud of yourself when nobody's watching? When you look in the mirror, not for the selfie, not for the clout, just you and you, are you proud of the seeds you're planting today? Or are you just talking? If you're planting the right seeds, even if you don't see the results yet, you're winning. If you're showing up and doing the hard things, especially when you don't feel like it, you're winning. If you're building real skills, if you're adding value to the marketplace, if you're improving your health, if you're working on yourself emotionally, mentally, financially, you're winning. You reap what you sow. It's not maybe, it's not sometimes, it's a law. You sow discipline, you reap freedom. You sow kindness, you reap trust. You sow humility, you reap wisdom. You sow laziness, you reap regret. You sow arrogance, you reap loneliness. You sow procrastination, you reap mediocrity. It's simple, not easy, but simple. And if you don't like what you're harvesting right now, if your life feels off track, if you're waking up tired and unmotivated and bitter, cool, no shame, but understand that's the harvest from seeds you planted 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 5 years ago. So change the seeds today. Stop arguing for your limits. Stop negotiating against your own potential. Stop looking for approval. You don't need anyone's permission to plant greatness. Put your head down, build, work. So forget the likes, forget the applause, forget the haters, forget the setbacks. Stay focused on the seeds. Because one day, maybe a year from now, maybe 5 years from now, people are going to look at your life and say, wow, you're so lucky. Smile, you'll know the truth. You weren't lucky. You reaped what you sowed. Not every seed you plant is going to grow. Some are going to die. Some are going to get crushed by storms you didn't see coming. Some seasons are going to be brutal. You'll do everything right and still get kicked in the teeth. That's real life, but if you're only willing to work when it's easy, you're finished. If you're only willing to try once, you're finished. Winners understand that failure is just part of the planting. They don't take it personally. They don't get bitter. They don't scream at the dirt. They don't blame the rain. They grab another handful of seeds and plant again and again and again. Persistence isn't sexy. Discipline isn't flashy. Nobody's posting viral clips about how many times they failed quietly behind the scenes. But that's where greatness is actually born. In the moments when it would have been easier to quit, but you didn't. Everyone loves the overnight success story, but nobody talks about the 15 years before the overnight part. You want to make a mark, you want your name to mean something, then you have to fall in love with the parts of the process that nobody else sees. You have to find satisfaction in working when nobody's clapping. You have to get addicted to becoming, not just arriving. And yeah, you're gonna lose some people along the way. You're going to make some people uncomfortable just by growing. You're going to outgrow conversations, outgrow habits, outgrow old versions of yourself that you thought you'd always be stuck with. Good, let them go. You can't harvest your best future if you're busy clinging to dead crops. Too many people are carrying around dead weight, old grudges, old stories about why they can't win. Old friends who have no interest in growth, who want you to stay small because it makes them feel better about staying small. Shed it. You're not planting seeds for them. You're planting seeds for the life you're building, and guess what? Not everyone is invited to the harvest. That's just the price of leveling up. And another thing, stop expecting immediate validation. Stop expecting the world to throw you a party because you decided to finally work hard for a week. You're not owed applause for doing the right thing. You're not owed rewards just because you showed up once or twice. You want results. Stack effort on effort on effort, with no audience, with no immediate payoff, and with no guarantee of success. You keep doing it because that's who you are. That's the kind of person you decide to be. Not because someone's giving you gold stars, and while we're at it, stop measuring your worth by somebody else's timeline. Someone else got there faster. Who cares? Someone else made more money by 25. Who cares? Someone else blew up on social media while you're still grinding in silence. Who cares? Your race is your race. Your seeds are your seeds. Your harvest is your harvest. Comparison is a distraction planted by fear. It robs you, it poisons your soil. You start doubting yourself because you're measuring your chapter 2 against someone else's chapter 20. Get your eyes off their field. Get your hands dirty in your own. You know how oak trees grow, from tiny, boring acorns. Nothing flashy, nothing fast. They just stay rooted longer than the weeds. That's it. Outlast the noise. Outlast the critics. Outlast the doubts that creep in at 3 a.m. Stay consistent when it's boring. Stay patient when it's slow. Stay locked in when you could take shortcuts but know better. Your dreams don't need hype, they need consistency. It's so wild to me people get mad at the results they didn't get from the work they didn't do. Think about that. They're out here throwing tantrums like the universe cheated them, but they never even planted anything. Or worse, they planted junk seeds every day. Gossip, negativity, laziness, blaming, finger pointing, and now they're shocked the only thing growing in their garden is weeds. You can lie to everybody else. You can't lie to your results. And guess what? The seeds you're planting today, they're going to bloom when you least expect it. One day you're going to wake up and realize the meetings you took seriously 5 years ago suddenly opened a door you didn't even know existed. The late nights you spent studying or grinding suddenly put you 5 steps ahead of the people who were chilling. The tiny habits you built in private will make you unstoppable in public. It compounds, it stacks up quietly in the background until one day it's undeniable. One day the world is going to wonder how you got so lucky, and you'll just smile because you'll know the truth. Luck is just the byproduct of relentless sowing, and you're still just getting started. Most people think they have time, like really think they're gonna get around to it eventually. They're sitting here acting like they're immortal, like they can just coast today and flip the switch whenever they feel like it. You don't get to skip seasons. You don't get to avoid the dirt work and still expect a blooming garden. You think you have time until you don't. You think you have options until you wake up and realize you burned the most valuable currency you ever had, your own time, the time you spent binned. Watching, gossiping, procrastinating, doubting yourself, making excuses that time doesn't refund itself. You don't get it back, and when it hits you, when you realize the clock doesn't pause while you figure it out, that's when it gets real. That's when you either start planting like your life depends on it, or you stay stuck making TikToks about how hard life is. I'm telling you, the people who win are not the smartest. They're not the fastest. They're not the ones with the perfect resume. They're the ones who took relentless action when it didn't make sense. They're the ones who moved even when it was messy, even when it was uncertain, even when it was slow. They're the ones who didn't care about how dumb they looked trying. You're worried about failing in public, about looking stupid, about starting something new and not being great at it right away. Let me tell you something you're already losing by default if you're too scared to even begin, because every second you waste worrying about judgment is a second you could have been building something real. The real ones, they look foolish at first, they miss shots, they stumble, they get laughed at, and they keep swinging, and one day the scoreboard flips and suddenly, all the people laughing are asking for a job. You reap what you sow. Every choice you're making today, even the ones that feel tiny and forgettable, is a seed. How you spend your hour after work, how you talk to yourself in your own head, how you respond when things don't go your way. Seeds, all of it. You're either planting for the life you want or reinforcing the one you're trying to escape. And you know what's crazy. Most people are unconsciously sowing failure every single day and then acting shocked when their life doesn't change. I want more money, they say while wasting every weekend doing nothing to earn it. I want better health, they say while eating garbage and skipping workouts every time they're tired. I want real love, they say while staying in toxic patterns and blaming everyone else for it. Talk, all talk. The real question is, what are you willing to plant every day without applause, without reward, without recognition, just because you believe in the harvest even when you can't see it yet? Because that's where the magic happens, that's where the separation happens. That's where the 1% starts forming, not by birthright, not by some secret club, but by relentless, unseen, unsexy daily choices that 99% of people are too lazy, too scared, or too distracted to make. And it's not about perfection either. You're gonna screw up. You're gonna plant some dumb seeds along the way. Good, it's part of it. Just don't double down on bad seasons by quitting altogether. Don't pull yourself out of the race because you stumbled once. You lost a day. Fine, don't lose two. You messed up a conversation. Fine, own it. Fix it. Move on. You fell off your plan for a week. Fine, stand back up swinging. Don't turn a bad week into a wasted year. The harvest doesn't come from one perfect season. It comes from not giving up through hundreds of imperfect ones, and while everyone else is chasing shiny objects trying to go viral, trying to get rich quick, trying to short, cut the grind, you're going to be the one quietly stacking wins. Quietly getting sharper, quietly setting up a life that feels good on the inside, not just looks good on Instagram, and when the harvest comes, when your work finally breaks through the surface, it's going to feel different. It's not going to feel like a lottery win. It's going to feel like destiny, like the world finally caught up to what you already knew, that you were building something real when nobody else believed, maybe even when you barely believed. You'll look back and realize that every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice, every time you bet on yourself when it would have been easier to quit, it mattered. It always mattered, because you reap what you sow. And the ones who plant through doubt, plant through fear, plant through storms, they're the ones who wake up to fields so full they barely remember the droughts. You keep planting, you keep building. You keep betting on the invisible future you believe in more than anybody else, because while the world clowns the dreamers, doubts the builders, mocks the early stage, it always ends the same way. The world eventually claps for the harvest. And let me tell you something else, the seasons don't wait for your permission. The world's not pausing for you to get your mindset right. The world's not sitting around hoping you finally get serious about your dreams. The opportunities you think you can chase later, they're moving, they're evolving. They're being taken by people who are grinding right now while you're still debating with yourself. You either move or you get moved. You either evolve or you get left behind. The market doesn't care about your feelings. The universe doesn't slow down for your doubts. It rewards action, plain and simple. It rewards the ones who kept their heads down when everybody else was looking for the easy way out. Every single day you have a choice, plant or pout, work or whine, build or blame. It's that simple. You sow energy, you reap opportunity. You sow excuses, you reap regret. Every DM you answer respectfully, every client you overdeliver for, every extra hour you spend sharpening your edge when nobody's forcing you to that *T stacks. It becomes your reputation, it becomes your leverage. It becomes the invisible engine behind everything you eventually win, but most people don't get it. They want to look good right now. They want to post screenshots right now. They want the accolades without putting in the boring reps. That's not how this works. You don't get to harvest what you didn't plant. You don't get to eat from fields you never bothered to tend. You think the future's gonna feel bad for you because you wasted your potential. Nah, the future's gonna belong to the people who earned it when it was hard, when it was lonely, when it was thankless. Everybody wants the trophies. Nobody wants the training camp. Everybody wants the fireworks. Nobody wants the fuse. I see it every day, people sitting on golden ideas, billion-dollar skills, crazy talents, and they waste it because they don't want to look stupid for a little while. They don't want to eat sh*t for 2 years. They don't want to build the boring stuff. Meanwhile, the people who are willing to be bad before they're good, willing to be invisible before they're undeniable, willing to take the punch, take the no, take the rejection without flinching. Those are the ones who end up owning the game, because they planted while everybody else waited for perfect weather. They planted while everybody else was trying to manifest it without actually moving. You sow action, you sow energy, you sow relentless effort in the shadows, and eventually you shine, eventually you break through, and the people who laughed, the people who doubted you, the people who told you to be more realistic, they either disappear or they start pretending they were cheering for you the whole time, and you don't even care by then. You're too busy building the next thing, planting the next field, because you realize this game never really ends. You don't arrive, you don't make it, and then stop. Winners keep sowing, keep creating, keep growing. It becomes who they are, not just something they do. They're obsessed with the process. Obsessed with becoming sharper, better, faster, obsessed with being 1% better every single day, even if no one notices for years. And that obsession, that invisible obsession, that's the difference between people who kinda make it once and people who stay legendary. Your work ethic has to be louder than your dreams. Your execution has to be heavier than your excuses. You think Kobe stopped practicing after his first championship. You think Jordan coasted after his first ring. You think the greats in any field ever said, "You know what, I'm good, I'll chill now." No, they were planting during the parades. They were practicing when the confetti was still falling. They didn't need a reason to work harder. The work was the reason. That's the level, that's the mentality, and that's available to you if you want it bad enough. But wanting isn't enough, wishing isn't enough, talking isn't enough, only planting is enough, showing up when it's boring, showing up when it's raining, showing up when nobody cares, showing up when you have every excuse to back off, but you lean in anyway. That's how you win. That's how you wake up one day living in a life you built from scratch, not because you got lucky, not because you gamed the system, but because you outworked, outlasted, and outloved the process. That's how you earn a life nobody can take from you. Because if they didn't build it for you, they can't break it for you. So here's the deal: your future is in your hands. Every single choice you make today is a seed you're planting for tomorrow. Every moment you spend doubting, every time you hesitate to act, you're letting the weeds of doubt and procrastination take root. And guess what? The harvest is coming, and it's coming for everyone, for those who chose to show up and for those who chose to wait. The question is, which side are you on? Are you going to be the person who looks back and wishes they planted more? Or are you going to be the one who looks at what you've built, who you've become, and says, "I earned this, I worked for this, I stayed planted when everyone else quit"? Because here's the truth: you reap what you sow. You sow hustle, you reap growth. You sow commitment, you reap success. You sow patience, you reap breakthroughs. But if you sow excuses, if you sow hesitation, if you sow fear of failure, then don't be surprised when the weeds of regret start showing up in your life. It's all on you. This is your story, your race, your journey. So stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for conditions to be just right. There is no perfect moment. The moment to act is always now. And the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is your willingness to plant, to keep planting, to never stop planting. So get out there and sow those seeds. Don't wait for a miracle. Be the miracle. Don't sit around hoping for a break. Make your break. Don't wait for the world to notice you. Show the world what you're made of. Because trust me, when you keep planting, when you stay consistent, when you outwork and outlast, your harvest will come. And when it does, you won't just reap success, you'll reap the satisfaction of knowing you earned every single moment of it. Now go, get to work, and plant your future. Thanks for watching.